So it's still January 27th. The centerboard is in place. It went in amazingly easily. Just basically lowered it down, got it pretty close. Got a little mirror over there that I could use to stick inside the space and look and see the pin or the hole and everything, and basically fiddled with it for a couple of seconds. Saw the hole, lined it up, so I thought it looked pretty good, and just popped the pin in. It just went right in there. So I thought it was going to give me all kinds of grief aligning it because there's not much play around the edges, but for whatever reason, just pure total luck, it just lined up perfectly. So it just dropped right in there. And then I put the cover pieces on either side of where the pin goes through, siliconed it down. So that one on the port side is basically just a piece of wood that's siliconed and glued in place. It's got a little bolt on it that I can take out and use a piece of 1/2-inch threaded rod through to push the pin out if I ever need to take it out at some point. And this side over here, just a wood plate, so to speak, with an O-ring in it and bolts around the edge that hold that on there tight. So hopefully it doesn't leak. And then this is my arrangement here for raising, lowering the centerboard. I'm gonna basically switch this fiddle block out for one without a cleat and install a cleat back here on the edge of the centerboard trunk back there, so that I can raise and lower the centerboard from aft here in the cockpit area easily. But it works really well, raises and lowers the centerboard. We could do that, just so you can see. Yeah, the centerboard comes up and then lowers back down easily enough. And right now I just stuck a piece of 1/2-inch threaded rod through one of the holes. So I've got a hole there to basically hold the centerboard in the up position if I want to. So I can basically just pull it up like this, put a pin through, hold it there. So I'm going to be using some stainless steel hitch pins for that sort of thing. There's another hole here which will allow me to put the centerboard part way down, and that allows for this little space here to be just below the top of the centerboard trunk, and that's where the rowing seat will mount, or the sliding seat rowing system, if I do that, will mount in there and then go back to here. So they'll have a sliding seat for rowing in this space. So in order for that to slot into something, this just made sense. So I just got it, notched this out just slightly so that can drop down there and the seat can fit into that slot. Oh yeah, and then when it's all the way down, there's this hole here will actually be for a pin, and I'll actually be using these little 1/4-inch holes to pull it up or lower it down. So this will be the pin that pins it in place. So once, what I'll be doing is I'll be installing a couple of pieces on either side of the centerboard in the locations that line up with this hole. Now that I've got the whole thing in, I can raise the boat up and raise and lower the centerboard, find those locations, and build some pieces there, and then I'll basically be able to put like a hitch pin through it and just, quickly lock it in position. My main thinking on that, I could just leave it hanging on this, it would be fine. But my main thinking is, especially this pin position, when I drop it all the way down, if for some reason the boat capsizes, I don't want this whole thing, to come flying up. I want something that'll lock it. So there'll be, you'll see in the future, but there'll basically be a couple of holes either side of the centerboard trunk, and the pin will just go through those two holes and through this thing here, so that it basically can't move up or down to lock it in place. And I'd be able to do the same thing with these other holes back here if I want to. So yeah, it's really couldn't believe how easily the whole thing went, and it's nice to have it in there. Let's have that part done. So I'm just going to be doing some sanding around here, and then paint this space that'll be under the cabin top, and then once that's all done, then I'll be able to put the cabin top on now that I've got this in. So I just wanted to install this without the cabin in place. Probably could have put a clamp back here and taken up most of the weight and done this with the cabin top in place, but it would have been much more difficult. This is really easy. Plus just installing the hardware down here. Camera probably won't focus on that, but you know, underneath this and reaching down through the hole and screwing bolts in and that kind of thing would not have been as easy with the cabin top on.